COVID-19 pandemic has harshly tinted the fragility of the education system, and it is therefore vital that the innovation and creativity stimulated by this crisis be leveraged to make education system more just, comprehensive, and resilient. In response to a world drastically shifting, the Department of Education innovate Sulong Edukalidad so as to maintain educational continuity. Sulong Edukalidad highlights on 4 reforms in basic education: K-12 curriculum review and update, improving learning environment, teachers' upskilling and reskilling, and engagement of stakeholders for support and collaboration. This school year, the Misamis Oriental General Comprehensive High School continues to be involved in Sulong Edukalidad as it launches Mogchs' reading program, Project Reach, Reading Enhancement Across Curriculum Habit Brigada Eskwela Pagbasa 2021. Brigada Eskwela Pagbasa serves as a platform to synergize efforts and resources to attend to education-related challenges, particularly on literacy and numeracy. It also creates opportunities for all stakeholders to present potential solutions to the existing gaps in the country's education system, especially in equipping the learners with the 21st century skills. A detailed and comprehensive set of action plan was then crafted and carried out, headed by our principal, Dr. Abdon R. Bacayana, together with the Mogchs Reading Program Coordinator, Mrs. Anelda C. Orpilla, head teachers, and the rest of the faculty and staff, in order to achieve the targeted goals for Brigada Pagbasa program. In fact, teachers facilitated by the Filipino department conducted an online orientation through Facebook Live to aptly discuss the objectives and activities pertaining to the reading program. The grade 7 level made use of the PhilIRI group screening test, integrating the Marungko and Fuller approach to assess students' reading levels. Moreover, to determine whether students have access to the internet, since the process was administered through online platforms, Zoom, Google Meet, Messenger, and Messenger Room. On the other hand, for the grade 8 and grade 9 levels, the teacher identified the learners who have reading difficulty in their classes by conducting the pre-test via Google Form. They also had variety of interactive reading strategies and activities, such as show me a picture and explain, arrange the events according to order, the disease and its aftermath, differentiate fact from opinion, truth versus lie, riddling riddles, solve the puzzle, what happens next, and one-word story. And all of these were done with the help of Information and Communication Technology, or ICT, wherein the teacher allowed the students to install the interactive reading application on their laptop, tablets, or PC. The post-test was then conducted via Google Form. Diversely, the grade 10 level commenced their reading activity by getting the list of all grade 10 learners from the grade 9 advisors. Thus, the teachers created group chats for the different designated sections to properly disseminate information among all learners, including their parents or guardians, for an online orientation regarding the conduct of Brigada Eskwela Pagbasa 2021. Pre-evaluation of the reading skills of the learners was done through the administration of a modified or adapted pre-test. For the reading activity, the teachers introduced series of online listening, speaking, reading, and writing activities to the learners. They were given links related to the activity, which were posted through group chats or Facebook, and text messages or voice call. They then listened to songs via online, radio, or recorded songs through cell phone. They were also provided with the printed materials and worksheets. The learners had the option to watch the video through a link or may listen to a song through the radio or in any music player. They answered the activity using Google Forms created by the teachers or through Facebook groups by section, group chats in Messenger, Google Classroom, voice calls, or even through text messaging. The reading teacher subsequently administered a modified or adapted post-evaluation. For students who did not take part during the said program, they will be given a hard copy of reading materials in every quarter as part of the intervention. As part of the Learning Continuity Plan, the Brigada Eskwela Pagbasa 2021 was based on the ratings from this school year's implementation of the program. The result reveals that about 731 or 56.1% of the learners who were under the frustration level in the pre-test had improved their reading level to instructional, and 120 or 9.2% became independent readers as measured in the post-test. Furthermore, the number of grade 10 learners who were in the frustration level had decreased by 64.8%. And they are now in the instructional level at about 46.4% and 18.4% in the independent level. All these results can be attributed to the reading interventions done before giving the post-test. Also, 70 or 19.6% of the learners who were in the frustration level in the pre-test had improved in their reading level to instructional, and 17 or 4.8% became independent readers as revealed in the post-test. In addition, the number of grade 9 learners who were in the frustration level had reduced by 23.5% and were now in the instructional level in 5.3% and 18.2% in the independent level. Thus, the remaining activities that were given after the pre-test played a great role in the reading performance of the learner participants in the post-test. The results also indicate that 7 or 3.48% of the learners who were in the frustration level in the pre-test had increased in their reading level to instructional, and 7 or 3.48% became independent readers as measured in the post-test. Furthermore, a number of grade 8 students who were in the frustration level had declined significantly by 22.34% and 8.46% respectively, and who were now in the instructional and independent level consequently. These results were the effects of the interventions done prior to giving of the post-test. It can be shown that in the conducted group screening test of 189 or 57.98% of the grade 7 learner participants were in the frustration level. This revealed that more than one-half of the participants projected a low level in word recognition and reading comprehension. However, 125 or 38.34% of the participants belongs to the instructional level, while only 12 or 3.68% were in the independent level. Lastly, the results revealed that in grade 10 students, 59.6% has the most number of students who participated in the Brigada Eskwela Pagbasa program, followed by grade 9 at about 16.3%, then grade 7 14.9%, and grade 8 has the least number of students who joined the reading program. With the collaboration of the administration, stakeholders, parents, and teachers across all curriculum, new normal reading process was realized and pushed through. Active participation of the parents was considered important for the success of this activity. As the first educators of their children, they played a crucial role in their children's educational journey. A stimulating home environment that encouraged learning as well as parental engagement in their reading activity was essential for a learner's cognitive and emotional development. As we are wrapping up this year's Brigada Eskwela Pagbasa, we would like to use this platform to convey our heartfelt gratitude to all the stakeholders for their unwavering support as we continue to nurture the youth to have access to a high-quality education that prepares them to lead a healthy and productive lives even amidst the pandemic. This pandemic has become a catalyst for educational institutions to widen innovations that would aid them in these challenging times. As we brace for the school's opening on the 13th of September, the innovations we had introduced through the Learning Continuity Plan could be implemented into a regular course instruction even afterward. Doing so opens new ways of learning and pursuing the course for teachers, thus highlighting their need to enhance both the initial and continuous training in the use of technology for teaching. While it is evidently necessary for teachers to embrace the various features offered by digital tools such as audio, video, text, live sessions, and interactive games, they also need to be trained in the basic principles of how to effectively use these tools for student engagement and learning, because learning never stops, just as life never stops teaching. We, the entire Mogchs organization, accepts the challenges of the unforeseeable future to do more, strive more, and be more.
Magandang araw! Isang mapagpalang pagbati sa mga mag-aaral ng ikapitong baitang ng Misamis Oriental General Comprehensive High School. Ganun din sa kanilang mga magulang na nakikipanood kasabay ng kanilang mga anak. Sa aming ulong guro, Dr. Abdon R. Bacayana, magandang araw sa inyo, sir. Magandang araw din sa aking kapwa kaguruan sa sangay ng Misamis Oriental at ganun din sa sangay ng Cagayan de Oro. Sa umagang ito, ako ang magiging burong lingkod ninyo. Ako pala, si Binibining Mary Jane P. Fabre, ang siyang magtuturo at magbibigay sa inyo ng dagdag kaalaman sa ating Module 1. Tayo na't pasukin ang kwentong bayan ng mga Maranao. Pero bago yan, tiyakin munang komportable kayo sa inyong mga kinauupuan. Nakaligo na at higit sa lahat nakapag-almusal upang maging alisto ang inyong mga isipan sa ating aralin sa araw na ito. Upang ganap na handa sa ating aralin, narito ang mga ilang dapat nating tandaan. Una, ihanda ang sarili para sa isang talakayan. Pangalawa, dapat ay nakatuon at buong puso ang inyong atensyon. Pangatlo, sundin ang mga panuto at tuntunin sa mga gawaing ibinigay. Pang-apat, basahin at unawain ang aralin at mga gawain. Panglima, sagutan ng maayos ang mga gawain sa module. Pang-anim, malinaw ang sulat kamay sa mga sasagutang gawain. At ang pang-pito, gawin at tapusin ang mga ito sa nakatakdang oras. Siguraduhin ding nasa tabi na ninyo ang mga kagamitang kailangan para sa ating klase. Ito ay ang inyong module, ang inyong WHLP o lingguhang pangtahanang gabay sa pagkatuto, pagninilay or thinking log, sagutang papel at ballpen. Para sa araw na to, inaasahang mata mo ang mga sumusunod na mga kasanayang pampagkatuto. Una, nahihinuha ang kaugalian at kalagayang panlipunan ng lugar na pinagmulan ng kwentong bayan batay sa mga pangyayari at usapan ng mga tauhan. Pangalawa, nasusuri ang kalakasan at kahinaan ng pag-uugali ng mga tauhan sa kwentong bayan. At ang pangatlo, nakagagawa ng paghihiwa mula sa mga linya o pahayag na may kinalaman sa kaugaliang dapat taglayin ng bawat individual. Narito ang paksa para sa Module 1 para sa unang markahan. Mga paghihinuha sa kaugaliang panglipunan sa lugar na pinagmulan ng kwentong bayan. At ang kwentong bayan siyang ating tatalakayin sa araw na to ay ang Munting Ibon, ang kwentong bayan ng Maranao. Sa araling ito, matutunghayan mo ang isang kwentong bayan ng Agamaniyog na kilalang pasalindilang panitikan sa lalawigan ng Lanao sa Mindanao. Kasabay nito ay malalaman mo ang mga kaugalian at kagalagayang panlipunan sa lugar kung saan nanggaling ang kwentong bayang babasahin. Malilinang din ang iyong kakayahan sa paghihinuha sa mga pangyayari at usapan ng mga tauhan. Handa ka na? Yes, tara na! Naniniwala ba kayo sa forever? Meron ba talagang forever? Pagmasdan ang mga larawan, class. Ano kaya ang relasyon ng mga taong nasa larawan? Sila kaya'y magkasintahan lamang? O di kaya'y mag-asawa? Sa tingin ko naman, pareho. Sila ay, ang iba dyan ay mag-asawa, ang iba dyan ay magkasintahan. Ilang taon na kayang magkasama ang nasa larawan? Sa nakikita ko din, no? Parang matagal na dahil sa ang kanilang pagmamahalan ay ating makikita mula sa larawan. Ano kaya ang estado ng kanilang pamumuhay? Siguro sila ay masaya o di kaya'y malungkot? Ano sa tingin niyo? Magaling. Paano kaya nila ipinapakita ang kanilang pagmamahalan? Siguro naman hindi lingid sa inyong kaalaman, batay sa larawan na ating nakikita, malambing at mapagmahal ang bawat pares. Pahalagahan natin, class, ang mga damdamin ng bawat isa, lalong-lalo na ang pagmamahal natin sa ating kapwa. Panatilihin at pag-ibayuhin ang pagmamahal na nasa ating puso para naway tayo ay magkaroon ng isang masaya at isang mabungang relasyon. Bago natin tatalakayin at bago ko ipapanood sa inyo ang kwentong bayan ng mga Maranao, dako muna tayo sa pagpapalawak ng talasalitaan. Sa puntong ito, ibigay ang kasing kahulugan ng mga salitang nakadiin ayon sa pagkakagamit nito sa pangungusap. Piliin at isulat ang titik ng tamang sagot sa inyong sagutang papel. Bibigyan ko kayo ng 5 segundo para masagutan ang bawat bilang. At pagkatapos ng bawat bilang at ng 5 segundo, ay ibibigay ko ang tamang kasagutan. Doon din ninyo wawastuhan ang inyong mga sagot. Nagkakaintindihan ba tayo? Magaling. Kaya't atin nang simulan. Para sa unang bilang, lumalabas ang mag-asawa tuwing takip silim upang mangaso. Ang nakadiing salita ay takip silim. A. Katanghaliang tapat. B. Madaling araw. C. Papalubog na ang araw. D. Hating gabi. At ang tamang sagot ay C. Papalubog na ang araw. Ikalawang bilang, gumagamit sila ng bitag upang makahuli ng mga hayop. Ang nakadiin na salita ay bitag. A. Pagkain. B. Kampihan. C. Pana. D. Patibong. Ang tamang sagot ay D. Patibong. Pangatlong bilang. Gayon na lang ang kanyang panggigilalas sa nakitang kakaiba. Ang nakadiing salita ay panggigilalas. A. Pagkaasiwa. B. Pagkagulat. C. Pagkalungkot. D. Pananabik. Ang tamang sagot ay B. Pagkagulat. Pang-apat, isang matabang usa ang kanyang nadali. Ang nakadiing salita ay nakadali. A. Nahuli. B. Ibinabahagi. C. Sinarili. D. Tinago. Ang tamang sagot ay A. Nahuli. Ang panghuling bilang, sa halip na kumibo, ay nag-isip na lang ng ibang paraan ang asawa. Ang nakadiing salita ay kumibo. A. Magsalita. B. Naisama. C. Umiyak. D. Kumain. At ang tamang sagot ay A. Magsalita. Ilan ang nakuha niyong puntos? Kung tama lahat, binabati ko kayo. Doon naman sa iba na konti lamang ang kanilang nakuhang puntos, pag-ibayuhin pa ng mabuti at balikan ang mga katanungan. Ngayon, bago natin tunghayan ang kwentong bayan ng mga Maranao, kikilalanin muna natin ang mga tauhan. Sino-sino ang mga tauhan sa Ang Munting Ibon? Sina ay sina Lukis Amama at Lukis Ababay. Si Lukis Amama ay isang manluloko at tuso. Ito rin ay tamad. Siya ang kabiyak ni Lukis Ababay. Sino naman si Lukis Ababay? Si Lukis Ababay ang kabiyak ni Lukis Amama. Si Lukis Ababay ay isang mapagtimpi, matalino, matiisin, at sigurista. Bakit yon ang mga katangian at kaugalian ng mag-asawa? Matutunghayan ninyo sa susunod na mga kwento ng kwentong bayan ng mga Maranao. Narito ang kwentong bayan ng mga Maranao, Ang Munting Ibon.
Ang Munting Ibon, kwentong bayan ng Maranao. Noong unang panahon, may mag-asawang naninirahan sa malayong bayan ng Agamaniyog. Sila sina Lukis Ababay at Lukis Amama. Pangangaso ang ikinabubuhay ng mag-asawa, subalit hindi lang ang lalaking si Lukis Amama ang nangangaso, kundi maging ang kanyang may bahay na si Lukis Ababay. Bago sumapit ang takip silim, ay inilalagay na ng mag-asawa ang kani-kanilang bitag sa gubat at ang mga ito'y kanilang binabalikan sa madaling araw. Isang gabi, habang nahihimbing si Lukis Ababay, ay dahan-dahang lumabas ng bahay si Lukis Amama upang tingnan ang kanilang mga bitag. Anong laking gulat niya nang makitang ang kanyang bitag na nakasabit sa puno ay nakahuli ng isang munting ibon, samantalang ang bitag ng kanyang asawang nasa lupa sa tabi ng ugat ng isang malaking puno ay nakahuli ng isang malusog na usa.
Hindi ito maaari.
Ang sabi ni Lukis Amama sa sarili.
Matabang usa ang nakuha niya, samantalang ang akin ay isang munting ibon lang.
Alam ko na, pagpapalitin ko ang mga hayop na nabitag namin.
Ang sabi ni Lukis Amama sa sarili. Inilipat ni Lukis Amama ang usa sa kanyang bitag at saka itinali ang ibon sa bitag ng asawa. Umuwi si Lukis Amama nang nasisiyahan sa kanyang ginawa kahit alam niyang isang panluloko ito sa kanyang asawa. Kinabukasan, maagang ginising ni Lukis Amama ang asawa. Gusto niya kasing sabay silang magtungo sa kagubatan upang sabay ring makita ang mga huli ng kani-kanilang mga bitag. Gulat na gulat si Lukis Ababay nang makita ang matabang usang nakasabit sa bitag ng asawang nasa itaas ng puno, samantalang ang kanyang bitag na sa tabi ng puno ay nakahuli lang ng isang maliit na ibon. Ipinagtataka niya kung paano ang bitag na nasa itaas ng puno ang nakahuli ng isang usa, subalit hindi na lang siya kumibo. Sa halip, inuwi niya ang munting ibon at inilagay ito sa isang hawla. Samantala, iniuwi naman ni Lokes Amama ang kanyang huli at saka iniluto. Umaamoy sa kapaligiran ang nakakagutom na amoy ng nilulutong usa, subalit ng handanay agad itong nilantokan ng lalaki nang hindi man lang nag-aalok sa kanyang asawa. Sinolo niyang kainin ang buong usa sa loob ng 3 araw, kahit alam niyang gusto rin ito ng kanyang asawa. Isa pa'y, ang bitag naman talaga ni Lokes Ababay ang totoong nakahuli sa usa. Likas siyang maramot at walang pagpapahalaga sa asawa, kaya hanggang sa maubos ang usa ay hindi niya binigyan si Lokes Ababay na nanatiling walang kibo sa kabila ng ginagawa ng asawa. Nang maubos niya ang nilutong usa, ay muling niyaya ni Lokes Amama ang asawa.
Gusto ko ulit makatikim ng matabang usa. Halika, maglagay tayo muli ng bitag sa gubat.
Muli, naglagay ang dalawa ng kani-kanilang mga bitag. Subalit, hindi marunong umakyat ng puno si Lokes Ababay at dahil hindi man lang siya tinulungan ni Lokes Amama, ay inilagay na lang niya uli ang kanyang bitag sa tabi ng puno kung saan siya dati naglalagay. Hating gabi, nang mamalaya ni Lokes Ababay ang kanyang asawang bumangon at dahan-dahang lumabas ng pinto. Nagkunwari siyang tulog. Matalinong babae si Lokes Ababay at nahulaan niya ang ginagawa ng asawa. Subalit, wala siyang intensyong sundan ito. Alam kong niloloko mo lang ako, pero hindi kita papatulan. Ang tahimik niyang naibulong sa sarili at sa kanya pinilit makatulog kahit pa siya'y nagdaramdam sa ginagawang pagtrato sa kanya ng asawa. Nang siya'y makatulog ay nanaginip siya. Napanaginipan niyang pinapakain daw niya ng palay ang kanyang alaga at anong laking gulat niya nang mangitlog ito ng isang muntyas o isang mamahaling hiyas. Nagising na lang siya dahil tinatawag na pala siya ni Lokes Amama para tingnan ang kanilang mga bitag. Subalit, wala na siyang interes sa bitag. Ikaw na lang ang pumunta. Sakit ang ulo ko. Nagpapahinga na lang ako.
Bahala ka. Basta't pag may nahuli ulit ako, ay di kita bibigyan. Kanya-kanya tayo.
Hindi sumagot si Lokes Ababay. Sanay na siya sa pagiging tuso at madamot ng kanyang asawa. Wala rin itong pagpapahalaga sa kanya at hindi niya maramdamang mahal siya nito. Pagkaalis ng kanyang asawa, ay agad niyang pinuntahan ang kanyang munting ibon. Kumuha siya ng palay at pinatuka sa ibon. Gayon na lang ang kanyang panggilalas nang makitang pagkalunok nito sa palay ay biglang nangitlog ng isang maningning ng diamante ang ibon. Dinampot niya ang diamante. Mayaman na ako! Mayaman na ako! Ang paulit-ulit niyang sabi sa sarili habang tinatago ang mamahaling bato. Tulad ng dati, pagka-uwi ng kanyang asawa ay iniluluto nito ang kanyang huli at mag-isang kumakain ng hindi man lang nag-aalok. Subalit, hindi na ito pansin ni Lokes Ababay ngayon. Sa halip ay masaya siyang humuhuni ng paborito niyang himig habang gumagawa sa bahay na labis namang ipinagtataka ng kanyang asawa. Araw-araw nga, pagkaalis ng kanyang asawa upang kunin ang anumang nahuli ng kanilang bitag, ay pinakakain naman niya ng palay ang ibon at saka mag-aabang sa ilalabas nitong diamante. Walang kamalay-malay si Lokes Amama na marami na palang naiipong diamante si Lokes Ababay. Isang araw, habang mag-isa na namang kinakain ni Lokes Amama ang kanyang inilutong huli, ay nagsalita si Lokes Ababay. Hindi ko na matiis sa pakikitungo mo sa akin. Alam kong niloloko mo ako. Hindi ko na rin kayang pagtiisan ang pagiging maramot mo at kawalan ng pagpapahalaga sa akin. Buong kapaitan niyang sabi sa asawa na hindi man lang tumingala mula sa pagngasab sa niluto niya ang ligaw na pato. Payag na ako sa dati mo pang sinasabing pakikipaghiwalay sa akin. Mula ngayon, nilipat na ako ng bahay. Huwag mo na akong gambalain pa. Medyo nakonsensya naman ang lalaki dahil totoong lahating sinasabi sa kanya ng asawa. Pero ito na ang pinakahihintay niyang pagkakataon. Ngayon ay malaya na siya. Matagal na niyang sinasabi kay Lucas Ababay na gusto niyang makipaghiwalay, subalit hindi ito pumapayag. Ngayon ay heto't pumapayag na siya sa kanyang kagustuhan. Nag-impake si Lucas Ababay ng kanyang mga gamit at dala ang pinakamamahal niyang ibon at umalis siya ng bahay. Naiwan naman si Lucas Amama at ipinagpatuloy lang ang kanyang pangangaso. Samantala, si Lucas Ababay ay bumili ng isang malawak na lupain at nagpatayo ng isang turugan o malapalasyong tahanan. Kumuha siya ng mga gwardya at mga katulong na magsisilbi sa kanya. Naging maayos at masagana ang kanyang pamumuhay. Nabalitaan ni Lucas Amama ang napakagandang kalagayan sa buhay ng kanyang dating asawa kaya't muli siyang nagplano.
Babalikan ko si Loki sa babay para makasalo rin ako sa kanyang kayamanan. Di ko alam kung saan niya nakuha ang yaman pero dapat makinabang ako.
Ang sabi sa sarili ng tusong lalaki. Subalit, napaghandaan na pala ito ni Lucas Ababay. Kilala niya kasi ang pagiging tuso at manloloko ng asawa kaya pinagbilinan niya ang kanyang mga gwardya na huwag itong palalapitin man lang sa kanyang magarang tahanan. Kahit anong gawin ni Lucas Amama ay hindi na nagpaloko sa kanyang asawa at mula noon namuhay siyang masaya at masagana.
Ngayon, alam na natin ang akda ng Ang Munting Ibon. Suriin naman natin ito. Handa na ba kayo? Magaling! Iniluto ni Lucas Amama ang matabang usa at ito ay kanyang kinaing mag-isa nang hindi man lang inalok ang kanyang tahimik at hindi tumututol na may bahay. Anong klase asawa si Lucas Amama? Magaling. Isang di mapagmahal na asawa, kanyang pinabayaan at hindi niya pinapahalagan ang kanyang asawa. Kahit na sa pagkain man lamang ay hindi siya nagpapakita ng kabutihan. Hindi man lamang niya inalok ang kanyang asawa ng pagkain. At alam naman natin na yung huli talaga niya ay sa kanyang asawa. Ang kanyang kasamaang asal ay di nan kaaya-aya sa paningin ng ibang tao, pati na rin sa mata ng kanyang asawa. Bakit mahalaga ang paghihinuha? Mahalaga ang paghihinuha upang maging mapanuri at makialam sa mga nangyayari sa ating lugar o maging sa ibang bansa. Nakakatulong ito sapagkat naipapahayag natin ang ating saloobin at kaalaman hinggil sa mga napapanahong pangyayari sa lipunan. Ang pagbibigay natin ng pahayag mula sa pagsusuri ay isang paghihinuha. Ang paghihinuha kasi, class, ay ang prediction sa mga pangyayari gamit ang impormasyon. Ito rin ay ang pagbibigay ng sariling pananaw sa isang bagay. Madalas ginagamit sa mga kwento. Sa puntong ito ay tingnan ninyo ang inyong mga magulang. Sige, pakitingnan ang inyong mga magulang. Kung sa tingin ninyo ay masaya sila sa araw na ito, ay yakapin ninyo sila ng mahigpit at sabay sabing, Mama, Papa, mahal na mahal ko kayo. At kapag sa tingin mo naman ay pagod sila sa araw na ito o di kaya'y malungkot, yakapin mo sila at sabay sabing, Mama, Papa, kayo po ang inspirasyon ko sa bawat araw. Tapos na ba? Magaling! Dahil ipinapakita lang natin na pinapahalagahan natin ang ating mga magulang. Ipinapakita rin natin ang pagmamahal sa kanila. At alam naman natin na yan ang nararapat at siyang tama na siyang ating ibigay sa ating mga magulang. Mahalin natin ang ating mga magulang dahil yon ang nararapat. Huwag natin niyang kalimutan, class, dahil ang ating mga magulang ang siyang dahilan kung bakit tayo nabubuhay. At sila rin ang dahilan kung bakit nakawa natin ang ating mga pwedeng magawa. At sila rin ang nagpapatawad sa anumang kasalanan na ating nagawa. Hindi nila tayo hinuhusgahan sa punto ng ating pagpipili at pagdidesisyon. Mahalin natin ang ating mga magulang dahil nga sa sila ang siyang gumagabay at bumubuhay sa atin. Maswerte ang mga batang kumpleto pa sa mga magulang. Sulitin ninyo ang bawat araw na sila ay inyong kapiling. Dahil sa hindi madali ang mawalan ng mga magulang. Masakit mang isipin at masakit mang tanggapin, ayon ang katotohanan. Habang sila ay buhay pa, malakas at malusog, ipakita ninyo ang pagmamahal at pagpapahalaga sa inyong mga magulang. Habang hindi pa huli ang lahat. Dahil kayo ay maswerte, dahil nandyan pa sila sa inyong mga tabi. Huwag kalimutan, class, na ang ating mga magulang ay inuuna ang ating mga kapakanan. At sila rin ang nagsisilbing sandigan natin sa panahon ng ating mga problema. Huwag nating kakalimutan ang mga bagay na nagpapasaya sa ating mga magulang. Kung kaya't huwag rin nating kalimutang sabihin sa kanila ang mahal natin sila. Narito ang taktang aralin. Basahin ang mga pahayag na nagbibigay ng patunay. Ito ay nasa inyong Module 2. Yun lamang para sa araw na to. Naway, may natutunan kayo sa ating leksyon para sa araw na to. Kaya't hanggang dito na lang. Maraming salamat at paalam!
guys, good day. This is Sir Jason, and today we will discuss about the remainder and the factor theorem. This is a homemade video, so kindly excuse the noise and the sounds not related to our discussion. Okay? What is the remainder theorem? So by definition, guys, if the polynomial p of x, or the given polynomial, is divided by a binomial x minus r, then the remainder r is equal to p of r. Now, in other words, if you want to get the remainder, if you divide a binomial x minus r to a given polynomial p of x, then we have to substitute a value r. In addition, guys, the remainder theorem is a quick way in solving for the remainder without the aid of the synthetic and the long division method. Let's have a thorough illustration on how to relate our problems to the given definition of the remainder theorem. So first we have p of x. So p of x is the given polynomial, or in this case, this is the dividend. Now, x minus r, that is the divisor. So we have x minus 2, for example, x minus 2. Now, take note that we have the variable r, or p of r. Now, in other words, we should get first the value of r in order for us to get the remainder of a particular problem as far as the remainder theorem is concerned. So how to do that? We will just equate the given divisor equal to 0. So we have x minus 2 equal to 0. And then, in order for us to solve for the value of x, we will use the addition property of equality. So with the help of the property, we will have x equals 2. Now, 2 is the value of r. So we have p of r, that is p of 2. Of course, with respect to x. Why? Because we will substitute the value of r to the x variables from the given polynomial p of x. So you have x squared plus 3x minus 2. So therefore, the remainder is equal to p of 2. So that means we have to substitute the value 2 to the given polynomial. So that's the illustration on how to use the remainder theorem. So let's have our first example. So find the remainder r when x squared plus 3x minus 2 is divided by the binomial x minus 2. So from the given definition, our p of x is the given polynomial, or this is the dividend. Our divisor x minus r is x minus 2. So before we can solve for its remainder, we must solve first for the value of the variable r. So in order for us to do that, we have to equate the divisor equal to 0. So we have that x minus 2 equals 0, and then we will use the addition property of equality. So with the help of the property, we will have then x equals 2. So since we have now the value of r, then we can substitute its value to the given polynomial p of x. So we have r is equal to p of 2. So using the given polynomial x squared plus 3x minus 2, then we will have this expression. So 2 to the power of 2, that is 4. 3 times 2, that is 6, then minus 2. 4 plus 6 is 10. Minus 2 is 8. So that is our remainder. So the remainder, if we divide x minus 2 to x squared plus 3x minus 2, is 8. Now, to check if our answer is correct in relation to its remainder, we can use the synthetic and the long division method. So if we will use the long division method, you can see there that the remainder is 8. And then if we will look at the synthetic division, the remainder is still 8. So again, we can use the remainder theorem to solve for its remainder without the aid of the synthetic or the long division method. Okay, second example. Find the remainder r when x cubed minus 2x squared plus x plus 6 is divided by the binomial x minus 3. So we have p of x as the given polynomial or the dividend. We have x minus r, the divisor, x minus 3. So we must solve first for the value of r using the given divisor. So we will equate the divisor equal to 0. And then using the addition property of equality, we will have x equals 3. Now we have the value of r. So then we will distribute or substitute 3 to the x variables of the given expression. So we have r is equal to p of 3 or p of r. So using the given polynomial expression x cubed minus 2x squared plus x plus 6, then we will have 3 to the power of 3 minus 2 times 3 to the power of 2 plus 3 plus 6. So 3 to the power of 3 is 27. 3 to the power of 2 is 9 times 2, that is 18. Then plus 3 plus 6. So 27 minus 18 plus 3 plus 6, that is equal to 18. So our remainder is equal to 18. Example number 3. Find the remainder when 2x to the power of 4 minus 3x cubed plus 4x squared plus 17x plus 7 is divided by x plus 1. So our p of x is the given polynomial expression. Then our divisor, we have x plus 1. So we have to solve first for the value of r. So in order for us to do that, we have to equate the given divisor equal to 0. So we have x plus 1 equal to 0. So we can solve for x or in relation to r. So we have x plus 1 equals to 0, then addition property of equality, that is x is equal to 1. So we have now then the value of r as far as the definition of the remainder theorem is concerned. So we will have r is equal to p of negative 1, or that is p of r. So we will use the given polynomial expression p of x. So we will substitute negative 1 to the x variables from the given. So we have 2 times negative 1 to the power of 4. We have 3 times negative 1 to the power of 3 plus 4 times negative 1 to the power of 2. Plus 17 times negative 1 plus 7. So, to evaluate that one, we will have 2 times 1 minus 3 times negative 1 plus 4 times 1 minus 17 plus 7. So, we have 2 plus 3 plus 4 minus 17 plus 7. So, we have negative 1 as our remainder. So if we divide x plus 1 to 2x to the power of 4 minus 3x cubed plus 4x squared plus 17x plus 7, the remainder is equal to negative 1. Example number 4. Find the remainder r when x squared minus 4x minus 3 is divided by 2x minus 3. So, our p of x is the given polynomial expression. or the dividend, we have the divisor 2x minus 3. Now take note that this is different from the previous examples because we have now a coefficient 2 from the divisor. So let's solve first for the value of r. So we will equate the divisor equal to 0, and then with the help of the addition property of equality, we will have 2x equals 3. So from negative 3, it will become positive 3. Now, next step, we will use the division property of equality. So since we are solving for the value of x here, variable x, we will try to eliminate the coefficient 2. So division property of equality, we will divide both sides by 2. So 2x divided by 2 is x, and then 3 divided by 2 is 3 over 2, or 1.5. So we have now the value of x. Then we will substitute that value to the given expression. So we have r is equal to p of 1.5, or 3 over 2. So that is 1.5 or 3 over 2 to the power of 2 minus 4 times 1.5, or 3 over 2 minus 3. So we have 2.25 minus 6, that is 4 times 1.5 is 6, minus 3. So total, we have negative 6.75. So the remainder, when we divide 2x minus 3 to x squared minus 4x minus 3, is negative 6.75. Example number 5. Find the remainder r when x squared minus 8x plus 7 is divided by 5x plus 2. So our p of x is the given polynomial expression x squared minus 8x plus 7. We have the divisor, we have 5x plus 2. So we have to solve first for the value of r with respect to x. So we will equate the divisor equal to 0, and then we will use the addition property of equality. So we have 5x is equal to negative 2. In this step, we are trying to isolate the ones with variables and the ones without variables. So in this case, we have 5x, and on the other side, we have negative 2. So to continue, we will use the addition property of equality. So we will divide both sides by 5 since we are only looking at the value of x. So 5x divided by 5 is x, and then we have negative 2 divided by 5 is equal to negative 2 over 5, or negative 0.4. So we will use negative 0.4 as our value of r with respect to x, of course. So we will substitute the value to the given expression x squared minus 8x plus 7. So there you go. Negative 0.4 to the power of 2, we have 0.16. Negative 0.4 times negative 8 is positive 3.2. Then plus 7. So total, we have 10.36. So that is our remainder. Now, if we divide 5x plus 2 to the given expression x squared minus 8x plus 7, the remainder is equal to 10.36. So there you go about the remainder theorem. Now, this time, I will discuss to you the next theorem. And that theorem is one of the most important theorem in algebra. Maybe one of the most underrated theorem. And that theorem is the factor theorem. Now, what is the factor theorem? The factor theorem. So before we proceed, let us consider first the two examples. We have 3 times 4, that is 12. And we have x plus 3 times x plus 2, that is x squared plus 5x plus 6, that is according to the FOIL method. So that is the product, x squared plus 5x plus 6. Now, they say that if you multiply two or more numbers, those numbers are called the factors of the product. So we could say that 3 and 4 are factors of 12. Or we could say 12 is divisible by 3 and 4. Now take note that if we divide 3 to 12, the answer is 4. Take note of the remainder. The remainder is 0, right? And if we divide 4 to 12, the answer or the quotient is 3. Still, the remainder is equal to 0. Now, we can extend this to polynomial expressions. They say that when you multiply two or more polynomial expressions, those polynomial expressions are called the polynomial factors of the product. So, in order for us to verify if x plus 3 and x plus 2 are really factors of x squared plus 5x plus 6, then we have to use the remainder theorem, whether or not their remainder is equal to 0. So, let's have r is equal to p of negative 3 for the divisor x plus 3. And the other one, we have r is equal to p of negative 2. That is for the divisor x plus 2. So first, we have to check x plus 3. Let's see if this is a factor of x squared plus 5x plus 6. So we will use the expression x squared plus 5x plus 6 and then substitute the value negative 3. So we have negative 3 to the power of 2, that is 9. Negative 3 times 5, that is negative 15. Then copy 6. So we have 9 plus 6 is 15 minus 15. So the remainder is equal to 0. How about the second one? X plus 2. So we have x squared plus 5x plus 6. Substitute negative 2. So negative 2 to the power of 2, we have 4. Negative 2 times 5, that is negative 10. Then plus 6. So 4 plus 6, that is 10. Minus 10, that is 0. So what is our conclusion here? We can say that x plus 3 and x plus 2 are factors of x squared plus 5x plus 6 since their remainder is equal to 0. So the factor theorem states that the polynomial p of x has x minus r as a factor if and only if p of r is equal to 0. So in other words, if you use the remainder theorem and then the remainder is equal to 0, then that divisor or that x minus r is a factor of the given p of x. So the factor theorem is more of a continuation of the remainder theorem. So all you have to do is to check if the remainder is equal to 0 or not. If equal to 0, then we can say that that is a factor, or the x minus r is a factor of the given p of x. Example number 1. Determine whether or not x minus 3 is a factor of 2x squared minus 5x minus 3. So in this case, we will just use the remainder theorem to check if the remainder is equal to 0 or not. So we have p of x, the given polynomial expression, 2x squared minus 5x minus 3. Then our divisor is x minus 3. So in order for us to solve for the value of r with respect to x, we will equate the divisor equal to 0. So we have x minus 3 equals 0, and then we will use the addition property of equality. We will have x equals 3. Now we will substitute that value to the x variables from the given p of x. So we have 2 times 3 to the power of 2 minus 5 times 3 minus 3. So to evaluate that one, 3 to the power of 2, we have 9 times 2, that is 18. Negative 5 times 3, that is 15. And we have minus 3. So 18 minus 15 is 3. Then minus 3, we have 0. So the remainder is equal to 0 if we divide x minus 3 to the given expression 2x squared minus 5x minus 3. So our conclusion, x minus 3 is a factor of p of x since the remainder is equal to 0. Example number 2. Determine whether or not x plus 1 is a factor of x to the power of 6 plus 2x to the power of 2 minus 2x minus 4. So p of x, the divisor, we have x plus 1. Then we will equate that equal to 0 in order for us to solve for the value of r with respect to x. So we have x is equal to 1 through the addition property of equality. So we will substitute negative 1 to the given expression x to the power of 6 plus 2x squared minus 2x minus 4. So there you go. So negative 1 to the power of 6, that is positive 1. Negative 1 to the power of 2, that is positive 1 times 2, positive 2. Negative 2 times negative 1, that is positive 2. Then copy negative 4. So we have 1 plus 2 plus 2, that is 5 minus 4, that is 1. So the remainder is equal to 1. So our conclusion, therefore, x plus 1 is not a factor of p of x. Why? Because the remainder is not equal to 0. Example number 3. Determine whether or not x minus 1 is a factor of 2x cubed minus 3x squared minus 5x plus 6. So p of x minus r is, we have x minus 1. So in order for us to solve for the value of r with respect to x, we will equate the divisor equal to 0. And then through the addition property of equality, we will have x equals 1. So we will substitute 1 to the given expression p of x, or 2x cubed minus 3x squared minus 5x plus 6. So there you go. So 1 to the power of 3 is 1 times 2, that is 2. 1 to the power of 2 is 1 times negative 3, that is negative 3. 1 times negative 5 plus 6. So 2 plus 6 is 8 minus 8, that is 0. So the remainder is 0. So our conclusion, therefore, x minus 1 is a factor of p of x. Example number 4. Determine the value of a so that x minus 1 is a factor of 2x cubed plus x squared plus 2ax plus 4. Take note that x minus 1 is already a factor of the given expression 2x cubed plus x squared plus 2ax plus 4, or already a factor of p of x. What we are about to do is to solve for the value of a. So we will still do the same process. P of x, and then x minus r, we have x minus 1. We will solve for the value of r with respect to x. So we have x minus 1 equals 0, x is equal to 1. Then we will have r is equal to p of 1. Now, our main reason why we are doing this is to solve for the value of a. Now, take note, x minus 1 is already a factor. Therefore, the remainder is equal to 0. So, there you go. Take note that the remainder here is 0. R is equal to 0. And then we will substitute the value of R with respect to x to the given p of x. So, we have 0, since the remainder is equal to 0 because x minus 1 is given a factor of the given p of x. So we have 2 times 1 to the power of 3, and we have plus 1 to the power of 2, then 2 times a times 1 plus 4. So that is from the given p of x. Then 0, since x minus 1 is already a factor. So to evaluate that one, we will have 2 plus 1 plus 2a plus 4. So we will add 2, 1, and 4. So we will get 7. So we have 0 is equal to 7 plus 2a. Now in this case, in this step, we will do the addition property of equality, or we will try to isolate the ones with variables and the ones without variables. So we will transfer or transpose, or that is according to addition property of equality. So we will have negative 7 is equal to 2a, or if we transfer positive 7 going to the other side or going to the left side, so it will become negative 7. So in this case, in this step, we will use the division property of equality. So since we are trying to solve for the value of a, we will try to eliminate 2. So in order for us to do that, we will divide both sides by 2. So 2a divided by 2 is a. Then negative 7 divided by 2 is negative 7 over 2. So checking. For us to check whether our answer is correct or not, we will substitute everything. We will substitute a and we will substitute x is equal to 1 to the given expression, and then we will check if the remainder is 0. If 0, then our answer is correct. So we have the expression. So we will substitute x equals 1 and then a equals negative 7 over 2. So we have it here. So to evaluate that one, we will have 2 plus 1 plus 4, that is 7. 7 minus 7, that is 0. So therefore, our answer as far as the value of a is concerned is correct, since through checking, the remainder is equal to 0. So we are sure that the value of a is really negative 7 over 2. Next, example number 5. Determine the value of a so that x plus 1 is a factor of x cubed plus x squared minus 2ax minus 16. So our p of x, then our divisor is 1. So we will solve for the value of r with respect to x. So we will equate the divisor equal to 0. So that is x plus 1 equal to 0. And then with the help of the addition property of equality, we will have x equals negative 1. So we will then substitute the value negative 1 to the x variables. So we have r is equal to p of negative 1. Again, take note that 0 is the remainder in this particular problem. Why? Because x plus 1 is already a factor of the expression x cubed plus x squared minus 2ax minus 16. So that is equals 0. So we will then substitute negative 1 to the x variables. So we will have this expression. So to evaluate, we have negative 1 positive 1 plus negative 2 times negative 1, that is 2 times a, positive 2a minus 16. So we have negative 16 plus 2a. Then here, we will isolate the ones with variables and the ones without variables, or with the help of the addition property of equality. So from negative 16, if we will transfer that one to the other side, it will become positive 16. So that is 16 is equal to 2a. And since we are only solving for the value of a, so we will eliminate the coefficient 2. So in order for us to do that, we will divide both sides using the division property of equality by 2. So 2a divided by 2 is a, 16 divided by 2 is 8. So the value of a is equal to 8. Now, to check whether our answer is correct or not in relation of the value of a, so we will substitute the value of a and the value of x to the given p of x, and if the remainder is equal to 0, then therefore our value of a is correct. So checking, r is equal to x cubed plus x squared minus 2ax minus 16, or from the given p of x. So we will substitute negative 1 to x and then 8 to a. So there you go. So 1 plus negative 1, 0, 16 minus 16, that is still 0. So the remainder is 0. So what is our conclusion? Our answer or our value of a is correct, since the remainder is equal to 0, and taken that x plus 1 is already a factor of the given p of x. So there you go, guys. I hope you learned something about the remainder and the factor theorem. Before we go, allow me to have a shout out to our department head in mathematics, Dr. Jain Sikatayan, and to our school principal in Mogchs, Dr. Pedro R. Stanley Jr. Ciao. Good day, guys. This is Sir Jason, and I will give you a brief illustration about geometric sequence. Do not worry, guys, because your assigned math teacher will give you soon a complete and thorough discussion in relation to this topic. So this is more of an overview for you to get familiar with geometric sequence. So to start with our video lesson, we will go over first with our objectives. We will illustrate geometric sequence, determine the geometric means, find the nth term of a geometric sequence, and find the sum of finite and infinite geometric sequence. Now, to compare or to differentiate arithmetic sequence to geometric sequence, well, when we talk of arithmetic sequence, we deal with a constant value, a constant term called the common difference, while for geometric sequence, we deal with a constant number or term that is the common ratio. Now, for arithmetic sequence, in order for you to get the other terms, you have to add a constant number. again, that constant number is the common difference. For geometric sequence, in order for you to get the preceding terms, you have to multiply the previous term by a common factor or a common ratio. So from the given example, for arithmetic sequence, we have 2, 5, 8, 11, and 14. Now, if you are asked to solve for the common difference, for you to solve for its value, you have to subtract the first term to the second term. Or you can also subtract the second term to the third term, and so on. So in other words, you can have 5 minus 2, that is 3. 8 minus 5, that is also 3. 11 minus 8, that is also 3, and so on. So therefore, the number is constant and the common difference is equal to 3. So in simple terms, the common difference is the difference between each term of a given arithmetic sequence. Next, for geometric sequence, you have there 2, 6, 18, 54, and 162. Now, in order for you to solve for the common ratio, you have to divide the first term to the second term. So in other words, you have 6 divided by 2, so you will have 3. Or you can divide 6 to 18, so you can also have 18 divided by 6, still equal to 3. So that is the process in getting the common ratio of a particular geometric sequence. So as you can notice, if you compare the given sequence for arithmetic and geometric, there is a significant increase in the terms in geometric sequence compared to the arithmetic sequence. So for one or for you to identify if a particular sequence is arithmetic or not arithmetic, or geometric or not geometric, you have to identify the common difference or the common ratio. So another definition here for geometric sequence, it can also be expressed as an exponential function. So you have there 2, 6, 18, 54, 162, and 486. Now that can be expressed as 2 times 3 to the power of 0, that's equal to 2. 2 times 3 to the power of 1, that is equal to 6, and so on. So they are still equal, and a geometric sequence can be expressed as an exponential function. So that's it. You have there the illustration. So here, so you have here in exponential form, you have there the geometric sequence. Okay, the same with the arithmetic sequence, we also have formulas for geometric sequence. Now we have a formula for geometric sequence. A sub n is equal to a sub 1 times r to the power of n minus 1. So this is in particular the explicit formula for geometric sequence, and this is usually used if you are solving or if you are looking for the nth term of a given geometric sequence. Now the second formula, which is the recursive formula, you can use this one if there are terms given in the problem, or this formula is commonly used, especially if the given problem is conditional. So you have there the two formulas for geometric sequence, and the most used formula for between the two is the first formula. This is the explicit formula. So a sub n, the current term, you have here the common ratio. This is the first term right here, and this one is the previous term, or the known term, or the term that is given in a particular problem in a particular geometric sequence. So same lang, you have here the common ratio r. So it will depend on you on what formula is applicable for the particular problem, or for you the formula that is easy to use. So let's proceed to some examples in the relation to geometric sequence. So a geometric sequence, example number 1, is defined recursively by a sub n is equal to a sub n minus 1 times 1 over 10. So basically 1 over 10 is the common ratio here. So given the first term equal to 3000, so you are asked to find the first 5 terms of the sequence. So in this particular problem, the first term is given already. So naanay given, and that is the first term. See, first term is 3000. Now, you are told to use the recursive formula. So we will have a sub 1 as our first term, and this is given already. Now, if we will use the recursive formula, we will have a sub 2 for the second term is equal to a sub 1 times the common ratio. So a sub 2 times n minus 1, so 2 minus 1 is a sub 1 times the common ratio. So this is the formula for recursive formula. So for the second term, you have there a sub 1 times the common ratio. So you have 3000 times 1 over 10, so that is 300. Using the same formula, so if you have a sub 3, then you have a sub 3 minus 1, that is a sub 2. The value of a sub 2 is 300, so you will have times 1 over 10 is equal to 30. Now a sub 4 is equal to a sub 4 minus 1, so that is a sub 3. A sub 3 is 30, then times 1 over 10 is equal to 3, and so on. So the first 5 terms of the sequence, given the first value 3000 and the common ratio 1 over 10, are 3000 for the first term, 300 for the second term, the third term is 30, the fourth term is 3, and the last term or the fifth term is 3 over 10. So these are the first 5 terms of the sequence. So we are actually using the recursive formula. Example number 2 for geometric sequence. You are asked to find the nth term of the given sequence 2, 8, 32, 128, 512, and so on. Now, for this particular problem, we will use the explicit formula since we are solving for the nth term, in particular the 10th term. So going back to the definition of the common ratio R here, to get its value, just divide the first term to the second term, or the second term to the third term, or the third term to the fourth term. They are all equal. Now, in this case, our common ratio is equal to 4. Why? Because we have 8 divided by 2, that is 4. 32 divided by 8 is also 4. 128 divided by 32 is still 4, and so on. So that is the common ratio for this particular problem. Now, using the explicit formula, we have a sub n is equal to a sub 1 times r to the power of n minus 1. Now, 10th term. So we will have a sub 10 since we are solving the 10th term is equal to the first term a sub 1, which is 2, times the common ratio, that is 4, okay, the common ratio, to the power of n minus 1. N is 10, so therefore 10 minus 1. So that is 2 times 4 to the power of 9. 4, if we will evaluate this one, 4 to the power of 9 times 2 is equal to 524,288. So in other words, the 10th term of the sequence is 524,288. So siya ang ika-10. Next problem, example number 3. Find the next 3 terms in the geometric sequence 5, negative 10, 20, negative 40, and so on. Now, first thing is first, common ratio. We can always solve for the value of the common ratio if there are 2 consecutive terms given in the problem. At least 2. So here we have negative 10 divided by 2. I mean negative 10 divided by 5. The ratio is negative 2. 10 divided by 20 divided by negative 10, that is still equal to negative 2. So therefore, the common ratio for the given sequence is equal to negative 2. Okay, so this is applicable for recursive formula, but we can also use the shortcut. I mean, in a way that the recursive formula is telling us to just multiply the value of the common ratio to the terms in the given geometric sequence in order for us to solve for the other terms. For example, if I want to solve for the 5th term, all I have to do is to just multiply the value of the common ratio to the 4th term. For example, negative 40 times negative 2, that is positive 80. Now, here, we are using the formula. In particular, the formula for recursive. We have a sub n is equal to a sub n minus 1 times r. Well, if you find it lengthy for you to solve for the answer, well, you can have the shortcut, and again, the shortcut is to just multiply the value of the common ratio to the terms here in the given problem. So instead of doing this, like a sub 4 times r is equal to negative 40 times negative 2 is equal to 80, and so on. You can actually multiply the value of the common ratio directly to the given terms in the given problem. So the next three terms of the given geometric sequence are, we have 80 times negative 2, we have negative 160, it's negative 2, and 320. So these are the next three terms of the given sequence, 5, negative 10, 20, negative 40, and so on. Well, in particular, we are using here the recursive formula. So that's it. Now, geometric mean. The terms between any two non-consecutive terms of a geometric sequence are called the geometric means. So, from the given example here, we have 3, 12, 48, 192, 769. The geometric means between 3 and 769 are the terms here in between the two. So we have 12, 48, and 192. Again, 12, 48, and 192. They are the geometric means between 3 and 769. So there you go. Now you can also say that 12 and 48, again, 12 and 48 are two geometric means between 3 and 192. 12 and 48 are the two geometric means between 3 and 192. So that is how we illustrate geometric mean. Example number 1. In the geometric sequence 2 blank 72 432, find the missing term. So for you guys, for you to save time and to have a shorter solution, just solve for the value of the common ratio, since you have there two consecutive terms. Now, so just solve for the value of the common ratio, so you can solve for the unknown terms by multiplying the value of the common ratio to the terms given in the sequence, especially if the first term is given. Now, if the first term is given, just multiply the value of the common ratio for you to get the second term of the sequence. So 2 times 6, that is 12. So therefore, the missing term or the second term in the given sequence is equal to or is 12. Now, you can also do this process by dividing the last term of the given sequence, 432 by 6. So 432 divided by 6, that is equal to 72. 72 divided by 6 is 12. 12 divided by 6 is 2. So there you go. For you to save time, just solve for the common ratio and then multiply the value of the common ratio to get the other missing terms. Okay? Example number 2. Now, in the geometric sequence 6 blank 24 and so on, find the missing term. Take note that there's no consecutive terms given in the problem. Now, in the relation to geometric means, first thing to solve is the common ratio. Now, to solve for the common ratio, since there's no consecutive terms given in the problem, we will use the formula for arithmetic sequence, in particular, the explicit formula. Now, we will use this one to help us solve for the value of the common ratio. Now, unlike the previous example, here, we can see that there is a pair of consecutive terms. In particular, we have 72 and 432. Now, if we have consecutive terms given, we can easily solve for the value of the common ratio. But this time, wala. So, we will use the explicit formula. So, this will help us solve for the value of the common ratio. How? Now, we will illustrate on how to solve the value of the common ratio using this formula. A sub n is equal to a sub 1 times the common ratio raised to the power of n minus 1. Now, given a sub n, so we can consider that as a sub 3 since we have 1, 2, 3. We have 3 terms here. So we can consider 24 as the last term, or we can say that 24 is the third term. So we can say that a sub 3 is 24. The first term is 6. Then the common ratio is unknown, so we will just leave that one as r raised to the power of n minus 1 or 3 minus 1. So that is 2. So 24 is equal to 6 times r to the power of 2. Since we are solving for the value of r, we will divide both sides by 6. So we will have 4 is equal to r to the power of 2. And then to eliminate the exponent 2, we will take the square root of both sides. So we will have square root of 4 is equal to square root of r to the power of 2. Now, square root of r to the power of 2 is equal to r here. Square root of 4 is equal to positive and negative 2. Now, take note of this. If we are solving for the geometric mean and then we arrive at this expression, always consider the negative value if you are going to take the square root of a particular number. Why? Because the negative value of this one can also satisfy the given sequence here. So, to prove that one, we will have to show you this one. So, we have two possible solutions. So, the first one, if we will use the positive value of the common ratio, then the second term is positive 12. Why? 6 times positive 2, that is positive 12. If we consider the negative value of r, then we will have the second term equal to negative 12. Now, the common ratio, either positive or negative, can always satisfy the given sequence. How? 6 times 2 is 12. 12 times 2 is 24. Correct. For negative value, 6 times negative 2 is negative 12. Negative 12 times negative 2 is positive 24. Still can satisfy the given sequence. So, we have two possible answers. And we have two possible values for the second term or for the missing term of the given sequence. And they are 12 and negative 12. Example number 3. Find the three geometric means between 3.4 and 2125. Now, using the explicit formula, we can solve for the value of the common ratio since there's no consecutive terms given in the given problem. So therefore, we will use the formula. So a sub 5, since we have 5 terms, and then that is equal to a sub 1 times r to the power of 5 minus 1. Now a sub 5 is 2125 or 2125. The first term is 3.4. Then times the common times r raised to the power of 4. Now we will divide both sides by 3.4. So 2125 divided by 3.4, that is equal to 625. That is equal to r to the power of 4. Now, to eliminate the exponent 4, we will get the fourth root of both sides. So, the fourth root of 625 is equal to positive and negative 5. The fourth root of r to the power of 4 is equal to r. So, again, we have two possible answers. So, we have two sets of sequence, geometric sequence. The first one is with the common ratio equal to positive 5, and the second one is a sequence with a common ratio that is equal to negative 5. So, to get the other terms, if we will have the common ratio equal to 5, then 3.4 times 5, that is 17. 17 times 5 is 65. 65 times 5 is 425. 425 times 5 is equal to 2125. Now, if we will use negative 5 as our common ratio, then we will have 3.4 times the common ratio negative 5, that is negative 17. Negative 17 times negative 5 is positive 65. Positive 65 times negative 5, that is negative 425. Now, if we continue, we will get 2125. So there you go. This is one of the processes in getting the geometric means between two given terms in a geometric sequence. So next, sum of a finite geometric sequence. Now, the sum of finite geometric sequence where r is not equal, the common ratio should not be equal to 1, is given by, this is the formula, s sub n is equal to a sub 1 times 1 minus r to the power of n over 1 minus r. So, this is an illustration between geometric sequence and a geometric series. So this one, we have 2, 4, 8, 16 is an example of a geometric sequence. While this one, 2 plus 4 plus 8 plus 16 is an example of a geometric series. So take note of the difference between the two terms. So geometric sequence, geometric series. So the geometric series is like the sum of the terms in a geometric sequence. So like this one. So this one, geometric sequence, and this one is the geometric series. So if you are asked to solve for the sum of a finite geometric sequence, then we will use this formula. So example, using the given formula, this one, we will get the sum of 2 of the geometric sequence 2, 4, 8, 16. So, using the manual solution, we will have 2 plus 4 plus 8 plus 16, that is 30. Now, if we will have a solution using the formula, so we will have s sub 4, since we only have 4 terms. Then a sub 1, the first term is 2, times 1 minus r. Now, we can actually solve for the common ratio here. We have 4 divided by 2, that is 2. 8 divided by 4, that is still 2. So, we have the common ratio equal to 2 raised to the power of 4 all over 1 minus the common ratio 2. So, if we will evaluate this one, we will still arrive at 30. So, either way, we will get a sum of 30. Okay? So, the sum of the given geometric sequence with 4 terms, 2, 4, 8, 16, is 30. Example number 2. So, we have 5 plus 25, 625, 3125, 15,625, 78,125. Using the manual solution, the sum is equal to 97,655. Now, if we will use the formula, so we will have S sub 7 is equal to the first term 5, and then the common ratio is 5. Why? 25 divided by 5 is 5, 125 divided by 25 is 5, and so on. So here, if we will evaluate the expressions, we will still arrive at 97,655. So, last, sum of infinite geometric series. Okay? Now, the sum of the terms of an infinite geometric sequence is called an infinite geometric series, or simply a geometric series. Now, the formula here, we have S is equal to A sub 1 over 1 minus R, where R is less than 1 and R greater than negative 1. This is negative 1, guys. So again, R less than 1 and R greater than 1, and R should not be equal to 0. Okay? So, first example, we have 1/2, 1/4, 1/8, 1 over 16. So this one is an example of an infinite geometric sequence, while this one is an example of an infinite geometric series. So find the sum of the given sequence 1/2, 1 over 4, 1 over 8, and 1 over 16, and so on. So using the formula, we have S is equal to A sub 1 over 1 minus R. Now, if we will solve for the common ratio is equal to 1/2. Okay? The common ratio is equal to 1/2. 1/4 over 1/2 is 1/2. Now, using the formula, the first term is 1/2 over 1 minus the common ratio, which is 1/2. So if we will evaluate this one, so we will arrive with 1/2 over 1/2. So that is equal to 1. So the sum of the given infinite sequence is equal to 1. Number 2, find the sum of the given sequence, infinite sequence, 1/3, negative 1 over 9, 1 over 27, negative 1 over 81, and so on. Now, using the formula, we have A sub 1 over 1 minus R, where the common ratio is equal to negative 1/3. So the solution is shown here. So that is equal to negative 1/3. So using the formula, the sum of the given sequence, infinite sequence, is equal to 1 over 4. Now, example number 3. Find the sum of the given sequence 2, 4,
In particular, this is an infinite geometric sequence. So find the given sequence, the sum of the given sequence 2, 4, 8, 16, and so on. Now using the formula, we have a sub 1 over 1 minus r, where r is equal to 2. The common ratio is equal to 2. Now, there is no solution here since it violates the condition in solving for the sum of infinite geometric series. Why? Because the common ratio is equal to 2. The common ratio should be less than 1 and greater than -1, and r should not be equal to 0. Since r is equal to 2, it violates the condition for the sum of infinite geometric series. So again guys, this is r greater than -1. So there you go. I hope you learned something for today's discussion. Again, do not worry because your math teacher will give you a thorough explanation and more detailed examples in relation to geometric sequence. So thank you and take care. God bless.